What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. I'm back with the maintenance before mods. Sorry that I didn't upload the last week. Parts came in a little late, but today we've got something planned for the G again, and it is this cluster here. So as you can see, I'm pretty sure on your G37 you can see this screen. My screen is completely blank. Sometimes it glitches, and yeah, it's kind of weird. And it caused me to run out of gas a couple of times too, so we're definitely gonna get that fixed. We got the new one in that box there, or the used one. I don't know if eBay. Good old website there is eBay. So yeah, we're just gonna install that today and get that all done. And don't worry about that check engine light. This car's perfectly fine. The exhaust leak that I have, and I think it's the O2 sensor. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it in the bay over there at Global Auto Pro, as always. Shout out to them, and let's get this thing going. So how this happened, one day I was going like 140 on the highway, and I guess I went so fast where the needle went past the like 160 mark, and it just stopped working ever since. No, I'm playing. It was already broken when I bought the car, so I'm just gonna fix it now because I got tired of not seeing, you know, the little alerts that it has on the dash or whatever. So we're just gonna get that fixed. And I already got it pulled inside the bay. This is my little light stand here. We're just gonna, a lot of the work is under here. So to get to this thing here, we gotta remove basically this whole thing, basically. But we won't have to remove this steering wheel, thankfully. So first thing I know, there is 2 bolts under there. Those 2 right for the hood latch. I'm gonna unbolt those 2, and let's get straight to it. So now to get to down there, let's first remove this thing here, this little tab. Just pull it like that, and it pops right out. And it exposes those, so we can, you know, get to the rest of the stuff we gotta get to. So first, let's go ahead and move those 2 tins. And then all we're gonna do after that is pull this section down from this point down. And we don't wanna we're not gonna take it all the way out. We're just gonna let it hang a little bit so we can get access to the other bolts that's, I think, around here somewhere. Now that we got this hood latch out, it just slides right out. We're gonna remove this tab here. It's like a little thing. I got a flat head. I'm not gonna be too particular, dude. Out, just like that. Pops right out. I'm gonna wipe that down before I install it back in there. So now that we got that out, you can see all after this is, I think it's just tabs that you gotta pop out from this side all the way to this side. And then the connectors will unconnect. So I'll show you that. All right, now that we got it all popped down, it's just tabs for this side. Make sure you pull under with your hand. I don't know if you see my hand back there, but pull down under, pull down and out. It should pop right off. You gotta give a little wiggle around a little bit, and it should pop right off. So now you gotta move these 4 10mm there, and then we should be able to get up under the dash a little bit better. Now that I got the little plate out, this thing here, there is 2 kind of a tricky bolts to get, 10mm bolts. So there, if you look under, there's one right there directly that you're looking at, that one here. Yeah, that one right there. And then there's the same exact one all the way far on your right there. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those 2 because it releases the ones that's holding this whole piece down. So yeah, let's get to removing that. For reference, just to make sure you're unscrewing the right bolt. So if you look right about here, you go under, you'll see it right there. And same for that side, but you just can't, it's way harder to see. Yeah, there it is, actually. It's right there. So let's get to it. Should be simple. And try not to lose these bolts, but these are different bolts from the rest. So yeah, just put them aside. For me, I'm just gonna put them over here. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, they're different. So now that we've got that those two bolts out that was under the dash, we're gonna go ahead and remove these two little screws here. I don't know if any other G owner will have this same issue, but hopefully this helps. So now that that little bracket is out, set the screws over there. I try to keep them separate so I know what it's for. And that way, you know, it won't have a hassle putting it back together. So now, I'm gonna look under here, and there is a little bolt in this hole right there that we have to remove, or a screw. I'm sorry, yeah, it's a screw. Now, once you remove that little screw that's in the bottom of the steering wheel, come up here, there's a little tab. Gotta pop off. I already did the other side. We're just gonna pry that out. It feels like I'm damaging it. Okay. Now we gotta lift it out a little bit. Just pry it out. It's a little tab piece. Just like that. Like I said, I already did the other side, so the Phillip, excuse my steering wheel, there is something coming for that soon, later on. Screw in that. So now that we got those screws down, now we can pull down on this little thing here. Now you can see it open when you pull it down on it. I'm gonna get a flathead screwdriver, stick it right in the crackle. Do the other side all by yourself. So just pull down on it. Just pull down. Now to remove the push start button, you're gonna have to pry it from the back. I already pried it out, but you pry it out like this, and it comes right out. I already unplugged it because if yours is still connected with that wiring harness behind the dash where it keeps all the wires tidy, then you will not be able to pull this all the way out. So you have to do it while it's under the dash still. Use a flathead and just pop that connector through this at this connector at that wire harness there. Pop, push, pry it inside of the tab, and it should come right out. I had the biggest problem doing that. Oh, and then another thing, make sure your steering wheel is pushed all the way out, because it will not work if your steering wheel is in all the way. So this piece will have to come up, but it doesn't have to come out. So just make sure your steering wheel is pushed all the way out before you start taking off the other pieces. So now that we got the that push start out, where there's one more bolt that is right next to the thing, and that will be that one right there. So that silver one that's glistening is the one we're gonna remove, and then that should loosen this whole thing again. As I was pulling it up, it did get a little looser, and I noticed that there's something still holding it up, and it is that one bolt that I said that you guys didn't have to worry about. And it is that one right there. That's behind that little metal bracket. Yeah, that one. So we're gonna have to get that one out. I'm gonna have to squeeze around and see what I can do to get it. But we gotta remove that, and then this should pop right off. We finally got that bolt out, and boy, that one is a pine in the booty to get out. So now that we got it out, we can freely move around this. Watch out. Oh yes. Now it moves pretty well. So now all you gotta do is disconnect those connectors back there. I know there's a few. And then we can start the process of getting that cluster all the way out. So yeah, let's get it. So to finish getting to the rest of that, you're gonna have to pop this trim out. And then once you get this lifted up a certain way, when you're ready to get it out, make sure you push these little lever thingies, this side and this side, make sure you put them behind this little lip right there. So I'll show you. I disconnected the first one, and that one was here, but I'm just trying to get to this one here. kind of tricky, but try any other way that you can to get this connector out. So after you pull those two plugs, I finally got that other plug pulled. It was a pain. It was a pain. You just gotta bear with it and come up with ideas and try to get that. My clip for some reason was hard to get out, but your clip shouldn't. I mean, as long as you get that clip out, you should be good. So the clip was the main reason it took me a little while, but I finally got the clip out. And then for the wiring harness for the back of the gauge cluster. And so finally, we got the whole thing out. Now I'm gonna be replacing this piece here, and I'm gonna show you that in a few seconds. But yeah, so we're gonna unscrew a couple of screws that it has on there so we can get just this cluster area out. And we can slap that new bad boy up in here. And I'm gonna test to see if it, I'm gonna test it to see if it works by connecting the new cluster onto it without the thing on it. So make sure everything works. And then we should get back to reinstalling everything back on the car. If it wasn't for that clip taking so long to come out, or this wiring harness right here, I don't know if y'all can see that, but particularly the long one, I had a hassle with that one. But if you can get that out, that's gonna lessen your time trying to take out the gauge cluster. So all I did was remove the cluster from this little hood here. There's just a lot of little screws on the back part, and this is the old one. Yeah, this thing was laggy as I don't know what. It would glitch all the time. I don't know why, but we're gonna go ahead and bolt the new one on to this one, to this little, I don't know what you would call these, but I call it like a little hood, cluster hood. But yeah. For some reason, it looks like a robot. For some, when you take it out of the car, it looks like a robot. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to bolting up the new one. I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you the new cluster right now. We got it out, and so now it looks exactly like the old one. It's a little cleaner as far as, you know, when I clean it up, but this one had engraved like stains on the inside, clear visor for some reason. But yeah, this one I can clean up real well. So now let's just go ahead and start bolting it back up on to this hood here. Let's get straight to it, boys. All right, guys, so major update and a major failure too. So I plugged in the new, like I said I was gonna do. I was gonna plug it in before I installed all the, you know, the pieces back together on the car, and it still has the same exact problem as the last one did. As you can see, this one is actually somewhat worse because the middle piece is not even on. Like, the light isn't even illuminating right now. So I'm gonna have to send this one back to get another one. So for major failure, it's always good to look at pieces working before you buy them, especially on eBay. Make sure that the pictures are showing that stuff is working, or the lights are on, or whatever that you need. Make sure it's working before you buy it or purchase it. So that's really going to conclude this video. I'm going to update you guys on the new one when I get it. This is kind of disappointing because it took a little while getting it out. So, and it's not like I can get a comfort of putting it back together knowing that it will work. So, but it's all good. It happens to the best of us. But so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, and I should be posting an update on it pretty soon, depending on how long it takes for them to deliver it back to eBay and everything. So Yeah, so it's really actually just a symbol of a cluster on the G37, really. So please subscribe and turn on post notifications, and you guys cruise safe.